To start without me?
Hello!
I was talking to my friend about the podcast. I was like, y'all are still doing that?
Oh yeah, we're still doing that.
Right. Later.
Hello, welcome to Drunk Doctor Who. This is episode 37. We cover the Tomb of the Cybermen. Yes.
Tomb of the
Tomb of the Cybermen.
Came in faster. Clink.
Giggity. Alright, today we're drinking Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey.
Yes.
This was full when we started. He's drinking it diluted with Coke. I'm drinking it straight because I'm Cajun. Anyway, so today, Tomb of the Cybermen. This is... Alright, anyway, so this is the first serial of the 5th season of Doctor Who. And this is the first serial of Troughton's that fully exists, that was not reconstructed or animated because it was wiped. All of his previous serials have at least some episodes missing that have been made again through animation or reconstruction. This is the first one that is complete, and it is an absolute classic. And you can see in it, along with several of the episodes, how Troughton really acts through his face, which unfortunately doesn't come across.
Very often.
Yeah, doesn't come across in the animations or the reconstructions because you don't get to see his face as reflective of what's going on, or as acting as you do in this serial and in a few others that do exist. So anyway, but Tomb of the Cybermen, absolute classic. And it's the third time within a single year that we get to see the Cybermen. Because this one runs from 4 episodes from September 2nd, 1967 to September 23rd, 1967. And the first Cyberman episode was the 10th Planet, which was October of 1966. So we have the 10th Planet, the Moon Base, and the Tomb of the Cybermen all within a year. They become the new wonderful big baddies along with the Daleks. Let's see, what are you writing?
Just for reference.
Okay.
So this symbol shows up a whole bunch throughout this.
Well, yeah, it's a Cyberman. Alright. Companions are Jamie and Victoria, Jamie McCrimmon and Victoria. And the antagonists of the Cybermen, Kaftan and Eric Klieg. Kaftan.
That's the girl.
That's a Cyberman. Well, yeah.
And then technically, what was his name?
Toberman. No, Toberman's not.
Toberman started off as an antagonist. And then
no, he starts off good, and he starts off good. Then
he's Captain's henchman.
Right, but they kind of cyberize him, but he still remains good. He sacrifices himself. It's good. Spoilers. Anyway,
the weird thing, he was only good because he really loved the bad person. Because Captain was an antagonist trying to resurrect the Cybermen for their own gain. She was a bad person.
Right.
Toberman was her like henchman.
Servant.
He really liked Captain. Right. Captain gets the shaft. She's a bad girl.
She didn't get the shaft. She dies because she's bad.
And then he cared about her so much that he then became the good person fighting the Cybermen because he cared about the bad person that died. So we're really exploring those moral gray areas about
there's lots of them,
and the good side and bad side. So
dedication, devotion.
He started off on the wrong side, but he's a good person.
Well, no, he starts off when he's following his master or mistress or whatever. All right. Anyway, so okay. So Victoria's first full story.
Yep. We got our new companion, Victoria.
Right. So the Doctor, Jamie, and Victoria head off, and they get Victoria a new, less restrictive dress because rather old
more
dress,
modern,
right?
Which she thinks is a bit high cut,
revealing, and the Doctor's like, "Well, look at Jamie. He wears it all right." Jamie's like, "What? Oh yeah, okay, sure, you know." But they end up on, what's the name of the planet? Tellian?
City of Telos.
Telos.
This is the city of Telos on the planet Telos. The city was also called Telos.
Really? There was a city?
They said City of Telos.
Alright.
It might have been a weird A misdelivered line from one of the...
So they end up on Telos.
This is the planet Telos.
At this point is the origin planet of the Cybermen. But Mondas was the origin planet of the Cybermen. Now they have a new origin planet because Mondas was destroyed.
Went into hibernation.
Right. And
it's not necessarily where they started off.
Right. And so they go to Telos there's an expedition, and there's an archaeologist, a couple of people who financed it, which was Kaftan and Klieg. They financed it. Kaftan's female, Klieg is male. And Toberman is Kaftan's servant. But they have all these American spaceship guys.
The pilots?
Right, the pilots.
Callum.
Okay.
Jim?
Yeah, there's several of them. And they're British guys doing an American accent. Right. And you can tell it's British guys doing an American accent because they always overemphasize everything and over-Americanize everything. And it happens in Monty Python, and it happens here. They always overdo it, and it's easy to tell. But yeah, they're British guys doing an American accent. But there's the pilots of the ship. There's the archaeological expedition. There's Doctor Who and his companions. And then there's the evil Kaftan and Klieg. And Toberman is Kaftan's servant. So they open up the tomb of the Cybermen they blast it open.
It was buried in rocks.
Right. So the Cybermen have died out hundreds of years before, but they're looking for the tomb of the Cybermen. And they blast it open, they go inside, and there's all these mechanical levers and dials and things. And they have to figure out how to open the tomb, the hatch to the tomb, and it's based off of logic, Barillian logic, which means that anyone who can open it is really smart, which turns out later to be a trap by the Cybermen. In the meantime, at least one guy is electrocuted opening the gate. One guy is shot by
weapons
testing area.
Which is also like a booby trap.
Right, which was a booby trap. One of the archaeologists is shot by Klieg. So, there's like 6 deaths in this, not including the Cybermen. There's at least 2 or 3 Cybermen deaths. 6 other deaths.
At least.
Yeah. 4 or 5. It's not a children's show, but it's still at this point referred to as a children's show, as it was originally envisioned. It becomes a family show rather than a children's show during the 4th Doctor.
That's like going from G to PG.
Yeah, I guess so. But during the 4th Doctor, when there's a plant creature that's choking the 4th Doctor underwater, or no, there's a plant creature choking someone else.
Is that the mate of the family?
That's what literally triggered it over to family.
Not the infectious plant creatures choking people out in the Daleks' master plan.
Not in any of the stuff we've seen. It literally happens during the 4th Doctor, which we haven't gotten to yet. But so anyway, they figure out. The Doctor figures out what's going on. He helps this expedition group into the tomb of the Cybermen. Then he helps them into the side rooms, which is the weapons testing and the rejuvenation room. And then he helps them figure out how to get into the tomb with the hatch. They all go down there. Well, not all. The ladies stay up top, which is Victoria and Kaftan, yeah. They stay up top. Kaftan roofies Victoria's coffee to make her pass out so she can close the hatch. I mean, it's like she Cosby'd her, really bad. It was bad. So Victoria passes out. Kaftan closes the hatch, and the Doctor. Wait, what's the name of the head archaeologist? Perry.
Yeah, Perry's the head archaeologist.
Right. The Doctor, Jamie, Toberman, Perry,
Eric
Klieg, and what's the other guy who Klieg kills? The one who panicked all the time.
Hayden? Or... Oh, the bald guy.
Yeah. The short.
Oh no, that was Klieg. Klieg was the bald guy.
Couple of them.
Viner?
Yeah, Viner. So they all go down in there, and she closes the hatch on them. And Klieg's like, oh.
It's another one of those serials where there are a whole bunch of characters, and they all have names, and a lot of them don't stick around for very long. But I wrote them all down.
Yeah. But anyway, so...
Viner, Rogers, Klieg, Toberman, Hayden, Barry, Hopper, Captain, Callum, Jim.
He died.
There's like 13 characters in 4 episodes.
So, anyway, Klieg starts, like, unentombing the Cybermen by... they were cryogenically frozen, one of the best set pieces, and he starts to thaw them out. And Viner goes and says, no, we mustn't do this. And then Klieg shoots him, just cold-blooded murder. So then, the doctor, the Cybermen come up and they restrain the doctor and the companions and everyone else, and they open up the door to their controller, which is a Cyberman who doesn't have all the stuff on his front.
Brain jar.
Right. Now the Cybermen are metal. They don't have the sock faces. They're not Mandorian Cybermen. Mondasian. They're not the sock Cybermen. They're all metal now, or vinyl as it shows.
They have this little slot for their lips that opens up when they talk.
Yep. But the main controller has a big old helmet piece for a brain here.
I'm so thankful for subtitles. Otherwise, I'd never know what the Cybermen are saying.
Exactly. I love subtitles.
Their voices are so robotic.
Which is why I'm glad the serial fully exists, so we get subtitles. But the controller has this big old brain pan thing.
Brain in a jar. Mojo Jojo.
Jar.
That's a big sort of trope way back then, like evil villains, and then they had this massive intellect where their brain wouldn't fit in their head anymore, so they got the fishbowl on their head to contain their brain. Like aliens, you see that a lot in sci-fi, like their alien brains are too big. They're like evil masterminds.
But like with Klieg, he thought he was the smartest guy in the world, and the whole world should submit to him. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing today. We have liberals. I'm trying not to get political. We have people who think they're the smartest people in the room, and they should tell everyone else what to do. Klieg has the same delusions of grandeur. He thinks he's the smartest guy ever, and he should tell everyone else what to do and be Klieg, be unstoppable. Klieg, omnipotent, Master Klieg. Alright, so anyway, the Cybermen come alive. This is late episode 2. Mm-hmm. But eventually in episode 3, the Doctor and everybody get away from them except Toberman.
How that happens is you have Victoria with Captain and Captain. Yeah, Victoria wakes up after being roofied, realizes the Captain locked them in the vault, but then tries to open the vault. Captain pulls the gun on Victoria. Then the Cybermat, which is a tiny little
Cybermite. They're not named Cybermites yet, but they're a small Cybermat.
So tiny Cybermat.
Attacks Captain on the neck. She goes down. Victoria gets the gun. Victoria opens the hatch and
shoots the Cybermite.
And she goes and gets all the American rocket guys so they can come and help us save the day.
So there's this big shootout. They're throwing smoke bombs. Lots of chaos ensues. The pilots get the whole archaeology party out of the vault. There's a struggle while they're trying to close the vault door.
Except for Klieg and Toberman.
Toberman and Klieg get left behind. The Doctor barely makes it out. The Cyberman grabs his foot. Mm-hmm. Then the Cyberman lets go of his foot to grab Victoria. And then they're closing the vault, and then the Cyberman lets go of Victoria to try to hold the vault door open. And it closes on, and then he almost punches a hole in it because of their
Right, he's like
Massive.
boom, 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 and he's trying to punch a hole in it.
And we see Toberman, who's this like big, super meathead henchman guy, real strong, muscular.
Really big,
He goes,
muscular guy.
Head-to-head combat with one of the Cybermen, gets overpowered. So Cybermen are these cybernetic people that have like this massive strength, but they're low on power right now.
Right.
So that's why a human
power.
almost overpowered a Cyberman.
Right, but
even though
Toberman's a really big, strong guy. He's big. He's like 6'3" and muscular.
So Toberman, even being super masculine and muscular, and the Cyberman being low on power, the Cyberman still picks Toberman up over his head and tosses him. And they almost punch a hole through the vault.
Right, and they start to convert Toberman into a Cyberman. But they only get his right arm.
And his brain scrambled.
And
spaghetti waves.
The controller talks to him through positronic brain signals, which looks like spaghetti waves. Yeah. All right. So we're in the third episode.
Yes.
So then Klieg escapes, and they let him out, and then.
He's knocking on the vault door.
Right.
Which I don't think they should have opened. They're like, that's too soft to be a Cyberman.
Right.
But why would you let Klieg out?
Because the Doctor has mercy. And so they put Klieg and Captain into one of the side rooms, which is a weapon testing room.
So they hold these traitorous, murderous people. Like Klieg pulled out a gun and shot one of the other archaeologists. They're like, you know what's a good idea? Let's isolate them in a room that is made for testing weapons.
And it has weapons.
Let's stick them in the weapons room. And we'll keep watch.
Right. So Klieg gets a weapon off the weapons testing dummy.
That was a great idea.
Yeah. And he goes back in the main room, and we're on episode 4 now. And he kind of holds up everybody and says, open the hatch, and I'm going to speak to the control of the Cybermen.
He thinks he has this massive leverage over the Cybermen.
Right, because he has a Cyberman gun that can kill them. Mm-hmm. So he talks to the control of the Cybermen, and he says, you will help us and give us power so we can control the Earth in the way that we want to. And the controller's like, yeah, maybe. Yes, I agree.
They also negotiate getting Toberman back, which... He has this poncho over a cybernetic arm they put on him.
Right.
It's super obvious, but no one seems to notice it.
Exactly.
Except Jamie and the Doctor realize that he's a little, hypnotized.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So then...
Acting strange.
So then they send them into this room to rejuvenate the controller. And the Doctor does, because it'll put the controller into a sealed capsule that Victoria was earlier stuck in. Thanks to Kaftan. Anyway.
She accidentally tumbled into it.
No, she wanted to get into it. She was curious. She said she needed revitalization, but Kaftan then sealed her in. But anyway.
Okay.
So they revitalize the controller then breaks them out, and then fights
Toberman?
Klieg. Well, he thinks he kills Klieg, he doesn't, and then he fights. He's trying to open the hatch so the other Cyberman can come out. Toberman fights him, and Toberman defeats him, or so we think. And then the hatch is open. The Doctor goes down with Jamie,
Toberman, so they can destroy the Cybermen forever. Toberman fights the Cyberman. The Doctor is manipulating the controls to cryogenically freeze them. Klieg wakes up and picks up the gun they just set on the table.
For no reason. And then Klieg goes down there.
Lack of logic.
Yeah. So Klieg goes down there,
I'll leave it here.
And the Doctor is playing to Klieg's megalomania. And then Klieg gets hit and killed by a Cyberman. And then Toberman kills that Cyberman after Klieg's dead. Because we got 6 human deaths and several 4 Cybermen deaths, because it's still technically at this point a kid show.
Yes.
So lots of death.
Very violent.
So then Doctor and Jamie escape. Toberman escapes. Klieg's dead. The Cybermen are dead. They reseal the vault. And then when they're trying to reset and re-electrocute everything, the controller comes back alive.
Yep.
And he's fighting to get out. The Doctor and Jamie run around him, different directions. They escape. And then the Cyberman controller is trying to get out to the main doors. Toberman is trying to shut the doors. And
Cyberman crawls out.
Right. Toberman and the controller are both electrocuted.
And the Cybermite gets out.
And Cyberman.
No one notices it.
Right. Unfortunately,
and then they just leave Toberman's dead corpse.
Right.
They're like...
Unfortunately, Toberman dies.
No one gets
really
brought
sad.
home. Or a proper burial.
I like Toberman. I really like Toberman. And the Cyberman controller dies.
Right. Why are you such a big fan of Toberman?
I like Toberman. He was
muscles.
loyal. He was helpful.
The first episode when he's opening the vault.
Right.
You got to see those glutes.
But
Do you have a crush?
No, but I like loyalty. I like strength. I like strength, but I also like loyalty. I like people.
Who doesn't?
And he was loyal and he sacrificed himself in the end. And I like that. It's a very, very noble. Yeah, exactly, noble. I like that. So I like Toberman. All right.
You ever play Halo Reach?
Nope. Never played Halo.
It's a team of Spartans. They're called Noble 1 through 6. And they're very self-sacrificial. It's a very sad story. They should make I don't know if they have a book. They do have some Halo books. I don't know if they made Noble 6 into a book.
Okay. So, anyway, that was the second Doctor's first full existing serial.
Yes.
Because, alright, and we discussed this earlier. Alright, because his first serial was Power of the Daleks, fully missing, now fully animated. The second one, The Highlanders, fully missing, not yet animated. Underwater Menace, somewhat missing and somewhat animated. Moonbase, 2 episodes missing, 2 episodes animated. Macroterra, fully missing, has now been animated, though we haven't seen it. Not been released here. Faceless Ones, 2 episodes exist, 4 missing.
You ever think
it has been animated, and The Evil of Daleks, 1 episode exists, 6 are missing. So this is his first full serial that exists, and it is an absolute classic.
You ever think about getting a VPN, like NordVPN, so you can change your IP address?
What's a VPN?
It's like internet security. It encrypts your data while you're surfing the web. It's like anti identity theft and stuff for like hackers.
Why do I want to care if somebody knows what I search the web?
For security purposes. So NordVPN or other VPN stuffs, they can change your IP address and route your IP through different locations. So one of the things you can do with that is make it look like you're searching the internet from somewhere else. So you can go on and see what people in Turkey, what their Netflix looks like. So you log into Netflix from a Turkish IP, and you'll have all these Turkish programs.
Why the hell would I want to see what?
Because you can route your IP to Europe, where the animated. Because people in Europe.
I have them.
No, the ones that haven't been released in America yet.
We'll get there. They'll be released here. They will.
But you can watch it now with a English IP.
Oh, I'm patient. We will literally get to the Macroterra and the Faceless Ones when they're released here. I'll buy them. I'll put them on a shelf. We'll watch them.
You're not curious.
I don't want to know what people in Turkey watch on Netflix. I don't care.
No, but like for Doctor Who, when it gets released first in Europe, and then you have to wait like a year for it to be released.
Well, I do have a region-free DVD player. If I really wanted to, I could purchase them and watch them on that.
Oh, right.
But that's fine. I mean, all right. Like the next serial is The Abominable Snowman, serial 38. 1 episode exists. 5 are missing. It's not been animated. There's 5 episodes of reconstruction. But I'll deal with the reconstruction. It's okay, you know? It's literally okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get to the animations when they happen. But that one has not been animated as of yet.
Is it very popular? He's a recurring villain.
The Yeti are recurring villains, but they're not super popular.
So it's not likely that it'll be animated very soon.
Well, it should be. Okay, there are... Okay. Alright, love you. You've probably listened to this a couple of times, but
every single
we talked about this. Yeah. Okay, the Macroteer has been animated. The faceless ones are being animated.
Yes.
We still have the Evil Daleks, which should be animated soon. The Highlanders. Abominable Snowmen. Okay, that'll be animated here soon. But the next one is Fury from the Deep, the 42nd serial. So after the Abominable Snowman, which is 38,
so they're
we have
skipping that one to animate.
Right. Fury from the Deep is the next one. We have the Ice Warriors, which exists. Well, a couple episodes are animated. Mostly exists. A couple episodes are animated. Enemy of the World. I think that all exists. That was one. Okay, these two they found only a few years ago. Enemy of the World and the Web of Fear. And every episode of the Web of Fear exists except one, which is the first showing of the Brigadier. The Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart. You'll meet him soon. He's good. Fear of the Deep is currently being animated in The Wheel in Space. And the only thing from season 6 that's missing is the Space Pirates. That one will probably be a bit before it's animated. It's not a good serial. Like, literally, not a good serial.
Space Pirates?
Yeah.
Is that like Time Bandits?
Not to be confused with the movie The Ice Pirates.
You ever see Time Bandits?
Yeah.
Better than Space Pirates?
Yeah. Didn't I show you Time Bandits?
No, I watched that when I was...
That's my favorite director.
Child.
Terry Gilliam. I love his stuff. I love Terry Gilliam.
Messed up, sad endings.
Love that ending.
No happy.
Love that ending. Okay, he's my favorite director. Terry Gilliam, Stanley Kubrick, John Johnson. John Johnson, if you're out there, I love your Skeleton Key series.
Michael Bay.
What? No. Okay, do you have any questions? What the hell?
So, we have the Doctor, and he has his 500-year diary. Which
right, he's
450 years old. He finally told us he's 450 years old.
Earth years, yeah.
Earth years.
By Earth years, yeah. Okay.
Is that like an official canonized? Did they ever?
Yep.
So that's how old he is. 450.
That's how old he is at the time. 450.
Cool.
Okay.
So like that was 33, 43, 51 years ago. So is he 501 now? The current 13th?
No, he's like more like 1200 or so. Ooh. He's had more adventures than we've had time. We're gonna finish this.
Alright. Oh, no.
No, yeah. No,
that's not much.
Seriously, you need some more. No, I don't need. Do you want me to drink this song?
I'm finished.
No, you. You.
Finish it.
You must share.
How much is... I finished.
There's a shot left. A shot.
I have this right here.
Good. Okay.
I like another...
There you go. Alright, you have your shot. I have mine, which is about a shot and a half. And then I'll drink wine, because I have one. Alright.
You're feeling pretty good at it.
Yeah, you.
Oh, wow.
You feeling good?
I feel good.
Okay, we're both feeling good. Good.
I have a suspicion you're feeling slightly better than I am.
Maybe. Okay. And you are so not driving. Don't drive. We have a gastro. You don't need to drive.
Oh. So they're talking about. So the doctor and Jamie are talking to Victoria about time travel.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "What? Time travel? That's silly." And he's like, "No, it's like what your father was working on, time travel."
Right.
But then he says something like, "I have perfected a very specific type of, travel." So the doctor's saying that he perfected it as if he built the TARDIS himself. Like, what is his, contribution to the TARDIS? And
Okay.
time
So
travel?
it's established later that he stole the TARDIS. The TARDIS is a time traveling machine, but it's established later on he stole it. It was in for repairs, but he modified it heavily. And that's his contribution to the TARDIS.
Is that why it's so glitchy and rough?
Maybe, yeah.
Right.
Maybe, yes.
Just a general.
But he modified it heavily, and that was his contribution to the TARDIS.
Yeah.
And the TARDIS is sentient.
Is it sentient because he modified it?
Don't
Or
know.
all TARDISes
Don't
sentient,
know.
like the monk's TARDIS.
Don't know. But the TARDIS is a sexy thing.
Yeah. Like Cortana and Halo. AI.
I don't know Halo.
Oh, you really need to. It's great.
No. High altitude, low. What is it? Low. Loading?
What?
Halo stands for high altitude, low something. I don't know what the O is.
Oh, in the video game?
No, Halo. That's what it stands for in this.
Oh, the video game Halo is just named after these Halo rings, which are these like massively constructed, Halo planets.
But it stands for high altitude. It's a jump. It's a jump out of a plane at high altitudes that are almost approaching space.
Yeah, that's not.
High altitude, low something. I forget what the O is.
That's not to do with the video game though.
But that's what it stands for.
Not in the video game.
Maybe. Alright.
The Angels also have halos, but that's not named after high altitude, low orbital.
Low, that's it. Low orbital. High altitude, low
The Halo
orbital.
game series does have ODST troopers, which are orbital drop shock troopers, which they get like airdropped from space in like these little one-man pods. They're really cool. They're like the SWAT team of space.
Okay.
Or like more like Navy SEALs.
Okay.
So they're cool.
Okay. Anyway, so where the hell were we?
We're talking about how the Doctor modified the TARDIS.
Doctor modified the TARDIS, and it's now his TARDIS. The TARDIS is sentient. It's a she, sexy thing, and the TARDIS actually actualizes as a female much later on, which we will see.
Does that have anything to do with the Doctor's influence on regenerating as a female? Maybe just really related to the TARDIS? He wanted a gal pal.
No.
No?
No. Okay.
Yeah.
The
He
Doctor
wanted to get in touch with his feminine side because his TARDIS is a woman. And what is that a bad question?
Yes.
Why is
It's a
that?
horrible
Why
question.
is that a bad question?
Alright.
I guess not.
The Doctor does eventually regenerate into a woman,
Uh-huh.
or the 13th Doctor,
Yeah.
because of PC crap. We go from Capaldi to Whitaker.
And
Whitaker's the
Capaldi,
13th Doctor.
like the end of Capaldi, it hinted that it could be possible.
No. It's hinted during Tenet, 10th Doctor.
Oh, so they hinted
Because
at it.
Moffat wrote that episode, and Moffat had a hard-on to make the Doctor a woman, although he didn't. He
That's
never
funny
dared.
that he never got to.
He never dared during his tenure. But Chibnall, the new showrunner,
Mm-hmm.
made the Doctor female with Jodie Whittaker, and the 30th Doctor is female.
So what do you think of that first season that came out of the 13th Doctor?
Series 11? It's really bad.
You don't like it? Mm-hmm.
It's really bad. Okay, there's a couple of decent episodes, like Kabloom is a decent episode. Weird name, decent episode. It's fun. Most of the episodes are pretty bad.
So you'd consider yourself more of like an old school, traditional Doctor Who fan?
Well, I like what's good. And the 70s were the golden era of Doctor Who. Tennant's era is really great.
Just like Star Wars. 70s, 80s.
70s era. Okay.
Star Wars.
Tennant's era is really great. Smith's is pretty good. Capaldi's is okay. But seriously, Chibnall as a showrunner and Whittaker as a doctor are both really bad. The series 12, seasons ran from 1 to 26 during the classic era of Doctor Who, and they had a TV movie. This was 1 through 7th Doctor. TV movie was the 8th Doctor. And then starting in the New Age, they call them series, which is 05. The 9th Doctor going now, currently to the 13th Doctor. But most of our episodes are crap. I mean, they're really bad. Really, really bad. We'll get there eventually. We will, but they are bad. Okay. What other questions you have? Why did you ask me about Whittaker? Seriously.
I was just curious.
That's so bad. So, focus on the second Doctor. Troughton is amazing.
Speaking of
my second favorite Doctor.
I like Troughton. Speaking of Tomb of the Cybermen, I noticed right away, especially episode 1, the feel and the flow of this serial was so much different from previous ones. In previous ones, you have like these long dramatic pauses and dialogue is delivered in this really intentional way, and it's dramatic and it's drawn out. The first episode of the serial felt so rushed, and there's so much dialogue, and people were practically talking over each other just so they could like get all of the lines out.
Right, this could have been a 6 episode.
It could have at least 5. They could have.
Well, 6, yeah.
Yeah, but it just seemed like they really compacted it into 4 episodes, and every person had so much dialogue, and they just were really speaking fast, just to get all their lines out. Almost talking over each other. Why is that? Do we return to the more intentional, dramatic pauses?
We do. I don't know why this. I don't know why this was only 4 serials, because it's a really, really, really
4 episodes.
Iconic.
4 serials would be.
I know it's only 4 episodes. It's a really iconic serial. But that's what they decided.
Mm-hmm. So I had this one question that ended up being answered in kind of a silly way, I feel like. So Klieg is trying to open the tomb of the Cybermen. Mm-hmm. The Doctor doesn't really trust him. He doesn't know what he's up to. But he helps Klieg open the vault to the Cybermen. The Doctor, even, knowing full well that there are Cybermen down there,
right, explains the mathematical way to do it.
And then Klieg's like, he came up with his calculations and his logical theorem to how to open the vault, but he had it all wrong. And the Doctor just like mentally...
He pushing the buttons to help
So he let him into the tomb. And I'm like, Doctor, why are you letting Klieg into the tomb if you don't trust him and Cybermen are down there? That can be bad. And later on, Jamie asks him that question. He's like, what? You let Klieg into the tomb? And the Doctor's response was, I wanted to see what he was up to.
Right, exactly.
No good, obviously.
You want to know how bad the bad guy was, So you let him have his way until he saw how dark and foreboding it was, and then you let him die.
So Klieg...
At the hands of the Cybermen.
Here's my problem with the Doctor again. Klieg thinks himself as this super intelligent person.
Right.
Turns out he is not. Doesn't know how to get into the tomb of the Cybermen. By design, the Cybermen made their tomb to where it could not be entered unless by someone with superior intellect. So that's why the booby traps, the electrified door, the logic puzzles to open the doors. Klieg, not smart enough to figure this out, would have never gotten to the tomb without the Doctor's help. So this entire serial could have been avoided if the Doctor just hadn't let Klee into the tomb.
Well, in theory. In theory, Klee might have figured it out over time.
Maybe. But he put the companions' lives at risk. He created this whole conflict. Several people died. And the Doctor's response is, I wanted to see what he was up to.
Exactly.
So here's the Doctor, kind of just wanting an adventure.
Yeah.
And putting other people's lives at risk just to entertain himself.
Not to entertain himself.
I feel like after...
He wants to stop Klieg, but he needs a reason to stop Klieg.
I feel like after 450 years, maybe he's just bored. He doesn't mind losing a few people
the Doctor,
along the way to entertain himself.
The Doctor finally gives up his age at 450 Earth years during this serial. When he's asking Victoria if she likes it with him. She's happy with him and Jamie.
I think the Doctor's a bad guy.
No!
He's a self-serving.
No.
He's just looking for those adventures, man. He's just looking for a good time.
No.
People die because he's bored.
No.
Well, that's the only questions.
Anything else?
I think we covered it.
Wow. Okay.
It's pretty straightforward sci-fi.
Really
one of these
serial.
episodes, my only note was gun, because I didn't have anything else to write down.
Gun?
I just wrote gun. The third episode was
they got the space guns.
Because I didn't have any notes.
These are space guns.
It's pretty straightforward.
Okay. So, anyway, that is Tomb of the Cybermen, our 37th serial. 37th episode, which is 37th serial of Doctor Who. We will see you in a couple of weeks. Next week, I'm going to be showing Holden and Sarah Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, another sci-fi.
The final cut. On 4K, because I have 4K TV.
Nice.
So it'll be awesome, and you'll enjoy it.
What's up in your life, Heather? What you been up to? You still playing World of Warcraft?
Moderately. No, mostly doing terraforming Mars.
I told you about my computer parts being damaged when I sent them in for repair. Got damaged by USPS and shipping. The manufacturer was like, that voids your warranty. Sent them back as is. Tried to file an insurance claim with USPS. This is just me venting about how awful United States Postal Service is. Tried to file an insurance claim. Gave me an error message. And said to call the technical support number. So I tried to figure it out. I tried making the online claim a couple of times. Clearing catches, all this sort of troubleshooting stuff. So I call the number, and then they try to run me through the same rigmarole. They're like, did you try again? I'm like, yeah, I tried multiple times. Did you clear your catch? Yes, I tried that. Did you try it today, though? I'm like, well, that's not going to make a difference. I'm like, yeah, sure, I tried it today. And she's like, well, it says you weren't online today. So they're just full of crap.
It's a whole lot of up years.
So apparently in 5 days, they're going to send me a physical form I can fill out and just turn that in instead of doing it online, which, I don't know. Screw you, USPS.
Yay.
You really suck.
Yeah. Okay, so we are here with the Abominable Snowman, which we will do in a couple of weeks. And here's my main watching group on Destiny of the Daleks. So we are slowly but surely catching up to them.
Are we, though?
We are.
Especially since they're on a hiatus.
Hiatus. Beers had his second child.
Second child. Congratulations. Does his child have a beard?
It's a male child, but no, it doesn't have a beard. Not yet. But we are catching up, and we will continue to catch up, and that'll be awesome when we pass them.
Yeah. All the way
No,
to here.
It's up here. Yeah.
Up there.
Okay. Anyway, we love you. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you for watching Drunk Doctor Who, episode 37.
One of our shortest podcasts since probably the first couple episodes.
Well, no, because you always drag everything out for bloody
Well,
ever.
I didn't have any questions for this one.
You don't have any questions at all?
I had a couple. We went over them. Not many. It's pretty straightforward. Sci-fi.
So next time, well, not next week, but week after, we'll do this, and then we'll do the Abominable Snowman, of which 6 episodes, 5 are missing reconstruction, only 1 exists, and we'll do the Yeti. Seriously, it's a Yeti. You like the Yeti.
Will
I believe you will.
This sounds cheesy.
But it is cheesy, but it's Doctor Who.
I like cheesy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.